Hey everyone, happy Friday night. This is David Daniels, aka The Shy Man, bringing you Friday's Seeds of Wisdom. Bit later than planned. Basically, I was singing tonight. I was singing in a gospel choir. I'll share more about that story at another time, but it meant that I had to rush back and then get set up, so I'm a little bit later than planned, but hopefully we'll get some people joining me live. If not, hopefully you can watch this on the replay on either Facebook or my YouTube channel. So there's been some changes, there's been some refinements, some improvements perhaps, or just taking things up to another level. So I'm going to share some of those while I wait for people to jump on board live. I was debating as well what to speak about tonight, and I'll share more on that later. It was at one point going to be about the elections, the US elections, but I want to keep this upbeat and positive. So, excuse me. Some of you may have saw I posted a video, a pre-recorded video a couple of days ago, where I took a different light on things, took a different opinion to what everyone else was saying. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that, have a watch. It's somewhere you'll find it in my profile somewhere. I haven't shared that one on YouTube, so let me know what you think about that. Mr. Little, how you doing, sir? Thank you for joining. So, right. So before we get into it, a few changes. I'm just glancing down at my notes because, like I said, I've been rushing back. So, some changes to Seeds of Wisdom, how I'm doing this. So, along this journey of getting into public speaking on Facebook Live, I've made friends with a lot of new people. A lot of people have made friends with me. And so what I've decided to do, and this was kind of inspired by a chap called Dan Rice, who runs one Facebook group called Leader From Anywhere. And he's a really intelligent guy on all things social media. So in his group, any new members he would welcome them and give them a chance to introduce themselves. So I thought, great idea. So what I'm going to start doing now, anyone becomes my friend. In between when I do these videos, I'll tag you in and give you the opportunity to see what I do, what I call my hobby. So that's the first new change. So hopefully I've tagged a few new friends. Hopefully they'll watch it live. If not, they can watch it on the replay. What else am I going to do? So usually I speak about things that come to me during the day, or things that I've had built up for a long time, personal things, a range of subjects. And I have, along the way, I've asked people to suggest things for me to speak about, and some people have, just to help me refine what I'm doing and for me to get better, to kind of test me, and to hopefully add some value on what I'm speaking about as well. So that's all great. But what I've decided to do now is I've got literally tons and tons of subjects that I've thought about to speak about at a later date, and I want to share some of that with you. So what I'm going to start doing from not next week but a week after, I'm going to start asking you guys, I'm going to give you guys 2 topics that I can potentially speak on the following week, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to vote, a poll, and give you guys the opportunity to choose what I speak about. And it's going to be simply 2 options, A or B, and you decide what you want to speak on, and it'll just be a case of majority wins. If you guys have got anything else that you want me to speak on, then I'll add that to the bank of subjects, and we'll put that to the vote at a later stage. So that's the two refinements. The third one I'm really excited about is I'll show you. I'm gonna try something new tonight. It's a little part of the reason why it took me a little while to get back on here. So if I turn the camera around, most of you know when I'm doing this, you probably know I'm holding this phone in my hand. So it kind of restricts my movement. And studying public speakers, being in an audience, listening to a public speaker, a lot of how they communicate is not only through their voice, is their physiology, their movements, their hand gestures, what have you. So doing it this way, yes, I've added value, but it does restrict me a bit. So you guys don't know how fortunate you are. The money I spent on you. So I've got one of these. Hope you can see that. It's a tripod, and this phone is going to go in there, and hopefully, Mr. Rice, how you doing, sir? You must have had your ears twitching. I was speaking about you just a moment ago. So I'm going to attempt. No, let's get positive. I'm going to go hands free. So just bear with me while I plug this in into the tripod. No expense spared for you guys. Oh, oh, I'm looking. Now I would have got this all set up beforehand. But I wanted to show you guys, like, especially for you guys who've been with me from the start, kind of the progress and the improvements that I want to make. And I don't think it's going to be a bit lopsided. You know what? We'll rock with this. No, we won't rock with that because it looks like I'm falling over. Just bear with me one moment. You know, I'm going to go. Right, I've got the reserve place in space. Space in place. Again here. So on future lives, this will all be set up, ready to go. I will look proper professional. But tonight, so I'm going to show you for the first time, and we are almost there. Won't be too much longer. People watching on the replay thinking, what is he doing? Thank you, Dan, for the likes. Right, there. We've done it. Hey, hands free. Still sitting down, but baby steps. I'll get there. The next one will be standing up, and then if you guys go, so look, I can move my hands. Right, let's do this. Let's get ready to go. Okay, so that's the third refinement. So number one, anyone who becomes my friend in between my lives, I'm going to tag you in, just to show you what I do. I don't know, we all, relationships I've made have been through different ways, but some of you might not know that I do this. So any new friends are going to get tagged. Number two, future Seeds of Wisdom, I'm going to be putting subjects to the vote. So there's going to be two subjects for you to choose, A or B, and then I will speak on that the following week. Any new suggestions will go in the bank for future votes. And number three, I'm hands free. I'm hands free. So let's get into it. So my Seeds of Wisdom today was inspired through the last two Facebook Lives I've done. So the Facebook Live I done last week was about the power of the voice note. It's about how I use voice notes and how maybe you can too, to really like, as a form of communication, to lift people up, to give positivity to people one way. If you want more details, watch that. And then the Seeds of Wisdom before that was about ISI, Iron Sharpens Iron, and how in my life, especially going on the speaking journey, the people I've met along the way, people like Dan, people like Stephen, Uttam, etc., etc., being amongst these people who are further than me, but they've given me a helping hand, and they've really helped me to sharpen what I do. So hopefully from my first Facebook Live to now, you will see the progress I've made, and it's because I'm around these people who are further than I am in what they're doing. So combination of that. So there's a chap in America called Frank Sagasta, also known as Coach Frank, and it was Uttam who introduced me to Frank. And I can't remember exactly how it came about, but I think Frank either put a post up or did a Facebook Live. No, that was it. Frank was on Uttam's podcast. So Uttam does a podcast from Straight from the Heart. It's on YouTube if you want to go check it out. He interviewed Frank Sagasta. I watched the YouTube. I was so inspired by it. I liked it so much that I sent a voice note to both Frank and Uttam using Messenger, a group one. And Frank came back at me, and Uttam came back at me on voice notes, and we was exchanging voice notes conversations on and off for a little while. And Frank was doing a Instagram live video, I think, and he basically came up with this quote which I put in my subject title, and it's not word for word, it's a paraphrase, and he said it came from Martin Luther King, and he said something like, "When you die, what what's the one question you're going to ask yourself? Is what did you do for others?" And I really liked that. And I said to Frank at the time, "That's going to be my next Facebook Live," and it is. So Frank, if you're watching this, this is because of you via Martin Luther King. So, what can you do for others in this life? There's a saying that goes, the more people you help, the more that you will be helped. And from life we give and we take. I've kind of adopted the motto that I'm here to hopefully add more to life than I take from life. And I'm a man, I enjoy helping people. It gets me, I like to use the knowledge, experience, skills that I've got to help others and get a buzz out of it. I really like doing it. So whatever I'll be doing, I want to be able to help people. So I'm kind of question for you guys. We're all striving to do some different things. We're all striving to reach our goals, to obtain this and that, or what have you, for our friends, our family, and ourselves. But what are you doing for others? How are you helping others? Maybe who are further down the road than you are, who are less fortunate than you are, because we all need a helping hand. I think we'll all agree that. Hey Stephen, how you doing, sir? Look, I'm hands-free, Stephen. I feel like a little kid in a sweet shop. And what are we doing? What are we doing for others? Who are we lifting up? Who are we bringing along the way? This came very much to light in a number of ways for me. Like, my daughter's got her first job, and she's 16 years old, and she's got no work experience. She's got experience in other places, but someone needs to give her a break, and someone needs to give her a chance. I'm sure we've all been on a road and we've got that new learner driver in front of us, and we're pushing them along and telling them, why can't they go faster? We've got to remember, we were in that position once ourselves, and the learners have just got just as much right to be on the road than us. Yeah, the times of the day are not always the best. Like, why they're learning in rush hour traffic? It only seems like they've taken the first 2 lessons. That's for further down the line, but they deserve just as much road space as us. So at some point, we will all have needed a helping hand or a break. So when we've had that break, when we've had that helping hand, let's not forget that, and let's go back and help others to give them their break. Whether it's through modern apprenticeships, whether it's through mentoring, whether it's through coaching. Hey Mark, how you doing, sir? Whether it's through coaching, any number of ways. What are we doing to help others? And what we're doing to help people less fortunate than us. So, for example, the homeless. I've got a heart for the homeless. So as Uttam, he set up his foundation for the homeless people. Now, a lot of us may look down on people who are homeless, or think that they're lower down in society or whatever. But more and more people, thank you guys who are sharing my video, I really appreciate it. More and more people are being forced off the streets. It could just simply be an argument with their loved one, and they're on the street. These are people who seem to be doing quite well in society. It could happen to any of us. It could be you're renting a property, and a landlord, you've got an unscrupulous landlord, and all of a sudden they kick you out, and then that's you. That's homeless. And then you've got people who've got a perception, a stereotype of homeless people looking down on you and that, and you will need help to get yourself back up. So I want us to adopt a helping attitude. Who can we help? Rather than, I believe the more we help others, the more we help ourselves. Some of you recently know I've started my own business. It's a property related business, but the reason I chose it was for a number of reasons, but one of the most prominent reasons was because it was helping people. It was helping people who are having certain difficulties. So, for example, landlords having troublesome tenants, landlords having problems getting rent every month, and me coming up with a solution to that. And that's why I call the business Shy Man Solutions, providing solutions for people's needs. So, in anything you're doing, look for where you can help people, and the more people you help, I truly believe the more people you The more people you help, the more you will be helped yourself. This is why I do. This is why I do Facebook Lives. It's sharing to start the journey. Was sharing the struggles I had that I went through to help others. And someone told me very early on, take the focus off yourself when it comes to public speaking and doing Facebook Lives. If you take the focus off yourself and put it to you guys, changes everything, and it's really changed everything for me. So now I don't really care how I look really, or I pay more attention to what I'm going to give to you guys than on myself, because if I focus on myself, I wouldn't have done half the videos I've done. And that's what I want to read with the message. I really want to. Sorry, I'm still getting used to having my hands free. You can see my hands are like flailing everywhere. That's what I want to really get across to you guys, is just look for ways you can help others. Use your resources, use your time, but also use your struggles. There's a coach called David Tang, and his kind of motto is your pain is your power, which I really like. Another motivational speaker, Gershom Allen, Dr. G, push past your pain. We all experience pain, we all experience challenges, we all experience struggles, and believe it or not, some of them are for reasons. Sometimes we need to go through struggle to help refine us to what we're doing. Just like there's a caterpillar, and before a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, it has to struggle in the cocoon, and it has to go through that cocoon. Hey Holly, welcome. I believe this is your first Facebook Live watching with me. Hope you enjoy it. The caterpillar has to have that struggle for the cocoon to become a butterfly. If you break that cocoon while the caterpillar is still struggling, still forming, it will not be as strong. It won't be as strong as a butterfly. So in life, there are some struggles, and yes, at the time, we wonder how we're going to cope. Just give you a little example. I used to work for Barclays Bank as a personal banker, and I had 20 product lines to sell. This is before all the PPI, and they stopped incentivizing people for selling certain products. I had 20 products to sell. I was working in Oxford Circus branch in the West End, which is a busy branch. I joined just after there was a panorama program on BBC One about certain staff at Barclays giving people package accounts where you pay a certain amount of money, you get like travel insurance, mobile phone insurance included. Great products. I mean, I've still got one to myself this day. Not such a great product if it's been put on your account without your consent. And this is what the BBC program picked up, that there were people doing this because they were getting incentivized for it, putting these package accounts on people's accounts without telling them, and the direct debit was coming out every month and people weren't noticing it. So I joined just after that program, so you can imagine the amount of spotlight on the bank, the amount of changes they had to make, what was known as compliance, known as rigor. So that was my first branch, busy branch, sending financial, thank you Dan, I will touch on your comment too, sending financial products, a range of financial products, and having to deal with all this paperwork of identity, money laundering, blah blah blah. And after the first month I thought, I can't do this, I can't cope. I was working all hours under the sun, and I just had to take each day. I just had to persist. I just had to persist. I got to a position where I was confident what I was doing. I had a lot of knowledge, I had a lot of experience. I'll be like a go-to person that people will come to if they needed help. I enjoy kind of unofficially mentoring new people through. But if I hadn't gone through that struggle, if I had stopped in that struggle, I wouldn't have been in that position where I was in the end. So sometimes there are just new situations we have to go through, where we have to go through the struggle, and sometimes the struggle is too much. Sometimes we have to quit things. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a case of it's judgment, and sometimes being persistent, and just sometimes letting time take its course. So some of you may be asking the question, I asked the question myself, if I'm helping all these people, what about me? How am I going to help? How am I going to be helped? How am I Evening, Shane, over here. Afternoon, I believe, in America. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your love and support. Um, how I've got a family, I've got 3 children, I've got a wife. Yes, there is a certain amount of sacrifice. And when you have children, there's a certain amount of sacrifice. You will not have as much time with your loved one. It's just simple as that, because most of your efforts will go into children, but you still have to carve out that time for your loved one. But when you give of yourself, you think of the great people of this world, of the world-renowned people like Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, dedicated her whole life to helping others. She would have made a lot of sacrifices along the way. Yes, you do have to make some sacrifices, but there are ways in this day and age that there are tools that we can use to help us. So, for example, with this Facebook Live, I want to reach, or with this stuff I'm doing public, I want to reach as many people as possible. I want to reach as many people in the world as possible. Not for my own egos, definitely not about me, but it's just to give the struggles I had some meaning. It's already given meaning, but I want to share that with as many people as possible. Thank you, Stephen. I'll come back and touch with your comment as well. I want to share that with as many people as possible, and social media is a great way to do that. Now, I've been focusing on Facebook. I'll do a video on that another time. Focus on one course at a time until successful. I'll do that in another video. So I've just been focusing on one platform, Facebook. But we all know there are other platforms out there: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, and there are certain people who don't use Facebook who use Periscope, for example. Now, how do I reach these people? Is either I'll go into those platforms myself, or I can use technology. So, for example, what I do, I've got a Twitter account, Strymon Speaks. I rarely tweet on there, but what I've done through technology, I've got Facebook and Twitter talking to each other. So this video now, once I've done, a tweet will automatically go to Twitter with a link to this video. So anyone who's following me on Twitter has access to what I'm doing on Facebook Live, and that's just a simple, I think it was a 5-10 minute job adjusting the settings. Utilize technology. Skype is another one. For example, I've been seeing a nutritionist for my fatigue, and I was due to go and see her. I'm in Ipswich at the moment. I was due to go and see her in Amersham, and it would have meant me taking time off, jumping on the train, and going to see her, and then jumping on the train and coming back. But we ended up doing the assessment on Skype. So she's sharing her knowledge with me. She didn't need to leave her house. She didn't need to travel to a clinic. We did it on Skype, and there's so many more examples that I could think of, or you guys could even think of, or you guys are using already, without me having to suggest more. So there are ways that we can use technology to multiply our efforts and multiply what we're doing, the people that we're trying to reach. But at the end of the day, I think it's easy to say, because by nature we're selfish. Human beings are selfish. We think of me, myself, and I first before, and I don't care what anyone says. When we come to a raw, basic Neanderthal selves, we think of ourselves first. But we need to train our minds. We need to educate ourselves to think more about other people, especially if we've been blessed, and everyone has been blessed with something. I didn't have 2 parents, but I was blessed with one very good parent. So I give thanks for that. I did have some challenges with not having my dad around, but I had one superb mother. So I take blessings from that. I've had to kind of find my own way as a male, now father, husband, and what have you. But I've had people come alongside me, and I think I'm doing all right. So use what you have to help others, and it's not all about money either. I've shared recently, and I've kind of changed my mindset. I want to earn a lot of money. I want to earn a lot of money, not because I love money or I'm greedy or whatever, The more that I have, the more of that resource, money is a resource, the more that resource I can share with others. I only need a certain amount of money to live on. If I get more money, would I get a bigger house? Maybe. Would I get a second car? Perhaps. But it doesn't mean all of a sudden I'm going to get Ferraris. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but there's only a certain amount of money that I need for myself and my family. After that, what am I going to do with the rest? Yeah, maybe leave some to my children. Am I going to leave it sitting in the bank? No, let me use that to help others and be prepared to take a punt on some people with their businesses or whatever. Become like an angel, a business angel, whatever. Give people that opportunity, give people that step. Let them make mistakes. So, from what I'm doing with my business and from that other stuff that's coming in the future, I hope to earn a lot of money so I can help people, help charities, help the disadvantaged. Yeah, so I'm not going to make no secret of it. I want to earn a lot of money, not because I want to be on the Sunday Times rich list of wealth. Not about that. If anything, I don't want to be on there because I'm giving away most of my wealth. Obviously, keeping enough to feed the family and what have you, but I want to be giving away, so I don't want to be on the Sunday Times rich list. so there we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I'm going to start wrapping things up. What are we doing for time? We're all good. I'll try and keep these to half an hour now. I'm going to go back on some of your comments. Let's have a look. Yes, Stephen is saying, awesome, David. Collaboration brings us all up. Exactly. Dan says, your newfound confidence is incredible. Yeah, that confidence was deep, deep, deep down. I had to have been pulling it out slowly but surely. I love seeing this progress. Whatever you've been doing, keep it up. Love the positivity and the way you truly believe in helping people. Thank you, Dan. Also, keep up the hands-free. It's a lot more fun that way. Yeah. Special mention to Dan. So me and Dan got to know each other through getting involved in public speaking on Facebook. Now, me and Dan have never met. Dan is a busy man. I'm a busy man. There's a potential, perhaps, we've got some similar beginning journeys in our in the beginning of our lives, some of the things we struggled with. There may be a possible collaboration, but that is one that we're not forcing the issue. We're both doing our own thing at the moment, and if it comes to pass, as it says in the Bible, if it comes to fruition, then great. If not, it's already in my diary to contact Dan in about 6 months' time and see where we both are and just see if there's something. But most of the time, we just speak on Facebook Messenger. Often I'm an early bird, so I have these random thoughts, and I just record a voice note. I did one to Dan the other day. I recorded basically about tagging in new friends. I recorded a voice note. It was done. Dan could pick it up whenever. He came back to me, so we're using technology to help each other out. Here we go. Stephen says, 100% agree with Dan. Your growth has been amazing to watch, and you're one of the most genuine people I think I know. Thank you. Sneak preview. Another thing I'm using something called Buffer. Buffer allows you to schedule your posts on Facebook, because often I have these thoughts like crazy hours in the morning when no one's probably on Facebook, not in the UK anyway. And I use it for the first time today. Buffer, you might have seen my post about anti-bullying, and that was done through Buffer. And I've got a Buffer post scheduled for tomorrow. But basically, what I realised is tomorrow is the 12th of November. Yeah, but I actually posted my first Facebook Live video on the 12th of July. So that's August, September, October, November. 4 months. Tomorrow will be 4 months to the day I first came live on Facebook, and I can't believe it. It seems so much longer. Yeah, I've made progress. I haven't watched all my Facebook. I haven't watched all my lives back, but I definitely feel more confident. Definitely more comfortable with using the technology and just myself. And now, like I say, I'm going hands-free now. So yeah, 4 months. Wow, what 4 months has been. So thank you, Stephen, for that. I'm going to wrap it up, except just to tell you guys, so the poll that I'm going to be doing about the 2 choices that you guys will have for me to choose what I speak on, that's not going to start next week. There's going to be some changes next week. It's not going to start next week. It's going to be the week after, because I'm making a decision. I'm being selfish. I'm going to make a decision on what I'm going to speak about next week. some of you may have seen my anti-bullying post. Next week, the 14th to the 18th of November, is anti-bullying week. Bullying is something that's very close to my heart because I was bullied. So my Facebook Live next week is going to be about bullying. If you want to suggest any particular aspects of bullying, then please do so. But it's probably just going to be about my experience of bullying. And I want to do that particularly to reach out to people who are being bullied or have been bullied, just to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's one of those situations, like I said earlier, sometimes it's something we have to endure. Don't take that in the wrong context, because people need to speak up about bullying. And I believe, just doing a little bit of research, there's, again, technology, there's different ways now you can report bullying, which is a little more discreet than just having to tell someone vocally, which is something I struggled with. So yeah, please support Anti-Bullying Week. I didn't even know there was an Anti-Bullying Week. It was Louise McNextry who gave me, who told me about it, and I researched it, I found it was next week. So you're going to see a lot more posts, you're going to see my picture change and stuff like that, all to support Anti-Bullying Week. And next week, my Facebook Live is going to be about Anti-Bullying Week and my experience of being bullied. I'm just going to post a couple of links before I go, if it works. Well, guys, I'm loving this no hands, but it's not working, so I'm going to have to probably post it after. Ah, there we go. Okay, and it's the wrong thing. Right. So what I'm going to post is a link for the anti-bullying website, and I'm going to post a link to a podcast interview that I did with Utam, where I touched upon my experience of bullying as kind of like a preview to next week, and then a few hashtags to support Anti-Bullying Week. So that's it. Thank you guys for jumping on. 32 minutes just gone over. Next week's Seeds of Wisdom we're going to be on a Thursday, because I am spending some valuable time with my wife, a long overdue time with my wife on the Friday, to celebrate our wedding anniversary that was on the 27th of October. We have a young family, we have commitments, but we're going to spend some time together on a Friday. So Seeds of Wisdom next week is going to be on a Thursday evening. It's going to be about anti-bullying, and please share my messages, my posts, not because me, spotlight myself. We need spotlight on this situation. We need to let these people know that it's not right to be bullied, and it's okay to speak up about it, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's here, and he's hands-free. Raquel Moore, I'm programmed to do the Facebook schedule. Raquel, I'm going to contact you personally, because I don't believe I know who you are, but I really appreciate you jumping on board. Hope you enjoyed it. So I'm going to like that comment. I'm going to touch base with you offline, online. Understand that. I'm going to post the links. I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Have a great weekend. Sunday night I do prayer time. Very basically praying for people on Facebook Live, whether you have faith, whether you have no faith, whatever God you believe in, or whatever religion you are. I'm going to pray. If you've got any requests, send them to me privately or share them on Facebook Live. I'll pray with you, and I'll also celebrate your successes you have answered to prayers. So that's it. Love you all. See you later.